Ergonomics is a combination of body mechanics and anatomy and allowing the body to be in a relaxed position but most able to do work, play, and rest without putting unusual stresses on the body. Most people are not familiar with things that they're doing on a regular basis contributing to their problem, and when they leave our office, if they continue to do that, they're getting in the way of progress. So we're going to address those issues, some of those issues. Here today, Alyssa is here to help with our video and demonstrate. And we're going to start with lying down. When you lie down, a lot of people will want to go to their knees or flip around. It's best to sit down first on the side of the bed or on the couch, and then gently lower yourself down and catch yourself with the elbows, swing the legs up, and then be in a supine position is one position that we recommend. We recommend sleeping on your side and on your back and never on your stomach. There's only one instance where we would tell someone to sleep on their stomach, and you most likely don't have a broken back. So what we also like to take pressure off the low back, and some of you who have acute low back situations where the pain is severe, a small pillow underneath the knees to get a small knee bend will take a lot of pressure off the low back. You'll be able to rest better, longer, and more comfortably. When we go up a little bit further, you can use any type of pillow, by the way, underneath the knees. You can play around with the thickness and the thinness. It doesn't take very much. Just a slight bend in the knee is all that's required. If you prefer a larger bend, that's up to you. With the pillow, we have a special pillow for back sleeping. This pillow has an indentation in the head part. And if you can raise your head up, this indentation allows the head to drop down into position. It also has two different thicknesses. So a lot of the women will use this one because it's a little bit smaller, and the men will use this side. It supports and cups the the neck with a curve here. Her shoulders should be nice and relaxed. And most of the time we don't want to, well, most people don't sleep this way, but we don't want to see you sleeping with your head underneath the pillow and propping up your neck. That puts too much strain on the mid-back and the neck. We prefer that you have your arms down here. You can cross at the stomach and be comfortable that way. But head over the shoulders usually will result in a pinched nerve in the arm, and your arm can fall asleep. So we don't want you to cause a subluxation doing that. Because one of the most common things that I hear is, "Doc, I slept wrong because now I've got a kink in my neck." So we want to avoid that. And if you practice good ergonomics when you sleep, you will avoid re-aggravating the subluxations that we're working on. Now, in a side sleeping position, what we would like to do is we'll take the pillow out here, and we'll have Alyssa roll to her side. Again, we want to use the pillow. We want to use the pillow between the knee and the ankle. And again, with this one, you probably want a little bit thinner pillow. You don't want a monster pillow that's going to cause the leg to come up too high and put pressure on the hips. What this does, this pillow takes the stress off the hips. It keeps them square. It also, a little cheat, a lot of my patients are stomach sleepers, and we want to avoid stomach sleeping like the plague, because that will cause severe problems with the neck. Not so much with the ergonomics, but with you have to breathe when you're on your stomach, and you always rotate your head to one side or the other, and that's going to put severe problems into the neck and into the mid-back. Also, stomach sleeping can, when you bring up one hip, and Alyssa, if we can show you, why don't we go ahead and go to the stomach and show the improper way. On the stomach, she's going to turn to one side, bring this leg up. That's what we see, or we see a stomach side like this. That's twisting the spine in through here. It's rotating the pelvis, and that's really bad. And if you're doing that a third of your life in bed, or at least in sleeping, this is going to cause micro trauma. Doing something minor for long periods of time or on a consistent basis is just as bad as a car accident. So we want to avoid this. So we'll have Alyssa go to her side again. We'll give you your pillow back and do this. And then we want the pillow between the knees. Now a cheat that I do for my stomach sleepers is that I like to have the pillow pushed forward so that if she, at nighttime when she's asleep, she wants to rotate, this is going to stop her from going all the way to her stomach. So she's slightly rotated, but her pelvis is rotated too, and there's very little strain on the back with that. Now when we go up into the neck, it's the key of finding the right pillow is crucial, because if you see what's happening here, we want her the middle of her head here and her nose to be in line with her spine, and at this case it is propped up. This pillow is too high for her. It is not the right type of pillow. If I bring it even further up here, you can that shows even more of a kink in her spine, in between the low back and in between the shoulder blades. We want to avoid that at all costs. So we're going to get rid of this pillow. This isn't a good side sleeping pillow for her. We're going to put this down here, and now you can see the alignment. We want to be able to put a yardstick from her head all the way across her spine and go down to the pelvis. We want to keep that spine in a straight line if at all possible. One last cheat that I tell my stomach sleepers that's a key, even my regular side sleepers, is a lot of people will lie down on their shoulder there. And what that does is that increases the space between the neck and the shoulder, and that's going to make it more difficult to find a pillow that's going to fit you, but it also can result in shoulder problems. So what we want to do is we want to pull that shoulder forward, and now she's resting on the back part of her shoulder here. She can either put her arm up here, down here. It's also okay if she puts her hand here with her hand flat. She can also be in the prayer position with the hands flat under the pillow. What we don't want to see in the sideline position, and we see this a lot, is we see that this shoulder comes up. Now that's going to kink the neck. It's going to raise the neck up and cause lots of problems and cause shoulder problems. Some of my chronic neck sufferers, migraine sufferers, are doing this on a regular basis. So we want to pull this arm out. You can put your hand under the pillow, but you want to keep the head straight. And we also don't want you to look up. We want you to look straight ahead so that basically you're in a neutral position. Simple things like getting in and out of a chair are done improperly day in and day out. I witness this outside the office, but even in the office. So we want to make sure that people are not aggravating their low backs getting in and out of chairs. The most common thing that we see over and over again is this is the way most people get out of the chair. Alyssa's going to demonstrate that. Now, doesn't that look normal for you, for most people? It's actually putting a huge amount of strain, and anyone who's had a severe low back problem may already know what's wrong with this. When she bends forward, she's twisting, or she's bending at her low back, reversing that curve in her spine, and then she's putting all her weight on her knees. Now she's coming up and she has to straighten up. And when you have a bad back, there's nothing worse than straining that in a forward flexion. Most lumbar injuries occur when you're bending forward and twisting at the same time, or lifting something. So we don't want to do that same motion to re-injure the joint over and over again. The proper way of getting out of a chair is, first, step one is scooting all the way to the end of the chair. Now, if you have handles on the side of the chair, you can change this a little bit, but since we don't have handles here, what we want to do is we want to place our hands on our hips up close, not on our knees, because another common way to do it is to reach down here and bend forward. And when people do that, they expose their low back. So we want to come back, keep your back straight here, and head up, and then get your feet underneath you, and then push down and come up at the same time. And you can see that Alyssa keeps her back straight and her hips square, and she's coming in and out. Also, when getting down, the one thing that I see the most with our elderly, our senior patients are getting weak thighs. They're not working out their thighs, and what they do to get down is they get down to about here and then they drop. And that's a trauma that you're doing over and over again, and it's just getting lazy. If you cannot sit down in a chair gently, you have to get those quads stronger. So that trauma to the low back is repeated over and over again. And this is unneeded. Your thighs should be strong enough to support you. If you have difficulty getting in and out of a chair, we need to work on the strength of the thighs. If you have an additional problem like a hip replacement or knee replacement that's making it more difficult, then you may want to go to chairs that only have arm supports so that you can gently lower yourself down into the chair and push off the armchair. The one difference in the demonstration of coming out of the chair is if you have armchair rests or armrests in the chair, you can grab those instead of your own hips. This demonstration here is only done when you don't have an armrest. But you want to make sure that that back is straight and you're gentle coming up and gentle going down. Later in the video, you will see stretches and exercises to strengthen and support the quadriceps to enable you to get in and out of chairs properly. An additional support to the lumbar spine and the low back, if you have pain upon sitting, or sitting becomes difficult, or the pain starts after you've been sitting for extended periods of time, it's usually a lumbar problem or a sacral problem. This lumbar pillow we use to help support the lumbar spine. This can be used in the car, it can be used on the couch, in your favorite chair. It can be used at work. It's a great support. And what it does, Alyssa, lean forward, it cups and supports the low back curve here, goes into the low back, it supports that forward curve into the lumbar spine, and it also makes it possible to stand up straighter and be in a better ergonomic position, a better posture, which will also help the mid-back and neck. So this pillow is definitely highly recommended. If you have a specific problem, like a spondylolisthesis, ask me if this is appropriate for you. Patients often will give me the answer, I didn't do anything, I don't know what brought this on. Well, something very innocuous or very innocent as poor posture can be the culprit. Let's say you're on the phone and you don't have a headset and you're doing this for an extended period of time. This posture is kinking the spine, addressing the mid-back also, but also in the base of the neck and the upper neck. And this can definitely put a lot of stress on the neck. If we turn around this way, another common thing that we start to see is I didn't do anything yesterday. I was at home watching TV, and they were slouching with poor posture. The shoulders are rounded. The head is going forward of the shoulder. Proper posture here is the hip to the shoulder to the ear. We want to see a straight line there with your chest out. That's the proper sitting position. And when people start to roll their shoulders when they're at the computer or when they're driving and they're in rush hour and they're frustrated, they start to lean their arms forward at the driving wheel like this. That can put a lot of strain on the mid-back and on the neck. Just simply sitting up straight and tucking the chin are two things that you can do on a regular basis to help take that stress out of your day. These exercises for the mid-back and the neck will be addressed later in this video.